You know, I read this one woman's blog, and she saved up all of her mean tweets.
In the Gamergate, no one knows who sent these threats.
She said, what do these men have in common? These are all men who hate women. No, these are all men who tweeted you and you responded to them. Like, they're trolling you. They're saying mean shit. You're a public figure. You write a public blog.
No, it could be anyone. It's the internet.
If you have a net, okay, you throw that net in the ocean, every day you're going to catch a certain amount of different species. Okay, you're going to catch tuna, you catch a marlin or two, and you're going to catch a few retards.
This Gamergate's not an organization with a mission statement and a board of directors. It's a hashtag.
There's the one feminist, there's one really nutty young lady who was saying that even physical strength is just because men are encouraged to do physical things.
Are you referring to one Anita Sarkeesian?
I'm Anita Sarkeesian, and I run the video web series Feminist Frequency.
Is that her?
She's definitely said that.
Did she say that?
Oh, yeah, she's definitely said that.
I know she's loony, but did she go that far?
The belief that women are somehow a naturally weaker gender is a deeply ingrained, socially constructed myth.
Any discussion of the lead up to Gamergate that doesn't mention Anita Sarkeesian would be incomplete.
Now, I'm a pop culture critic, I am a feminist, and I'm a woman. And I'm all of these things openly on the internet. So I'm no stranger to some level of sexist backlash.
She ended up getting favourable reception with the progressive intelligentsia.
In 2012, she launched a Kickstarter campaign for her series Tropes vs. Women in Video Games, which received an enormous amount of media attention, especially from the desperately virtue-signalling games media.
I actually raised 25 times what I initially asked for.
They liked her patter because it's pretty stock in trade, and she came across as being very respectable.
Gamers themselves were, however, not impressed.
Well, surely that must just reflect the pure elite caliber of the scholar. Modern feminists have financially chosen to be the face of modern feminism in gaming.
In these early Tomb Raider games, Lara's butt is typically right in the center of the screen, a camera orientation which, along with the sexualized clothing the designers choose to outfit her in, places a tremendous amount of emphasis on that part of her body. For the purposes of this video, I tried to get a glimpse of Batman's rear end, but it's as if his cape is a high-tech piece of Wayne Industries equipment designed to cover up his butt at all costs.
This video game character is dressed too sexily. I don't like it. Change it. I'm dressed too sexily and you don't like it? Stop oppressing me! Did you guys know that rape is bad? Rape is bad! Does anybody know this?
Sarkeesian was not initially really related to Gamergate. Still, Sarkeesian and her, at the time, boyfriend and collaborator Jonathan McIntosh were quick to exploit the situation as it unfolded.
Many women have courageously spoken out about how they experience alienation and harassment in gaming. Despite this fact, too many male gamers dismiss the issue as no big deal and insist that there isn't really a problem. One of the luxuries of being a member of a privileged group is that the benefits afforded to us often remain invisible to us. The following is a checklist of some of the concrete benefits that male gamers automatically receive simply for being men.
I can choose to remain completely oblivious or indifferent to the harassment that many women face in gaming.
Without having to fear being stalked or sexually harassed, I can look at practically any gaming website, show, or magazine and see the voices of people of my own gender widely represented.
That I won't be harassed, groped.
I can be sure that my gaming performance, good or bad.
My gaming ability will never be called into question based on unrelated, natural,
I can be relatively sure my thoughts about video games won't be dismissed or attacked.
I can openly say that my favorite games are casual, odd, non-violent.
When purchasing most major video games in a store, chances are I will not be asked if, or soon to be.
I can walk into any gaming store and see images of my gender widely represented as powerful heroes.
I will almost always have the option to play a character of my gender in order to avoid or mitigate the possibility of being harassed.
I probably never think about hiding my real-life gender online.
When I enter an online game, I can be relatively sure I won't be attacked or harassed.
Complete strangers generally do not send me unsolicited images of their genitalia.
I can be pretty sure that conversations between other players will not focus on speculation about my attractiveness or sexual availability in real life.
If I choose to point out sexism in gaming, my observations will not be seen as self-serving.
Because it was created by a straight white man, this checklist will likely be taken more seriously than if it had been written by virtually any female gamer.
You muppet.
I will never be asked to prove my gaming cred simply because the hand operating me is much more dexterous than yours.
I can eat as much gamer fuel as I want without ever having to hit up Wii Fit.
I never have to take a poop break.
Many of the kinds of claims she appeared to be making about the alleged sexism, racism, etc. of games didn't ring true.
We must remember that games don't just entertain. Intentional or not, they always express a set of values and present us with concepts of normalcy.
She seemed to have a profound ignorance of the history of games, their audiences, or the lore that she was criticizing.
Ubisoft's 2012 game Far Cry 3...
Oh great, Anita is gonna talk about one of my favorite games in the past couple of years.
Ubisoft's 2012 game Far Cry 3 cast players as Jason Brody, a young white American man vacationing in Bangkok with his brother...
Bangkok? No, Anita, they didn't go to Bangkok. They were going into an island somewhere in the Southeast Asian region, but... not really Bangkok. While the game has indeed Thailand writings here and there, most of the game's influences come from another Southeast region of Asia. Titra, one of the characters in the game, is a very common Indonesian or Malaysian name. Lots of Indo-Malay terms are being thrown here and there, like Tatau is actually how we pronounce tattoos. We pronounce it Tato, so they wrote it the way we pronounce it. The game opens up with the protagonist being introduced to Dennis, who utters the animal names in Indonesian, like Bana or Lava Lava, which translates to heron and spider respectively. The game's native citizen is called Rakyat. Rakyat is actually an Indonesian or Malaysian term, which means people. The tropical island setting almost closely resembles Bali or Lombok or the Komodo Islands, since you can find Komodo dragons in there as well.
She sounds like a total bigot when she's talking about anything.
And they all end up being kidnapped by evil pirates, who, you guessed it, are not white.
They're taking a trip to an island somewhere in Southeast Asia. Of course the pirates are gonna be not white. What, you expect them to be white or something? Are you serious? Speaking of which, since Chitra is Vas's sister, and Chitra is a very common Indonesian Malaysian name, Vas is, in some respect, has a little bit of an Indonesian or Malaysian heritage of some sort. Although the wiki says he's Canadian or Mexican, which, Anita, that just goes against your point, and you need to do a little bit of research, but let's just assume that the main villains in Far Cry 3 are indeed not white and are native Southeast Asians. Anita, stop white knighting me or my race, you racist.
A bigot?
Yeah.
How so?
Because she'll just say, well, this is men. I mean, the whole premise of feminism is that men are oppressing women. And if men aren't oppressing women, then feminism has no argument.